All right, new Smyrna in the ARCA car. I'm going to be doing 14 to 1. I think you can go 12 pretty comfortably if you're on a smaller wheel like me. Whatever you want, that's all comfort based. Minus 12 is what gets my wheel straight. And then I'm going all the way down at 60, but I want to warn you guys, the lower that you put your brake bias, the more it becomes extremely important not to overdrive corner entry. So if you think you're a bit susceptible to kind of overdriving corner entry, you probably want a higher brake bias, because if you try to get on the brakes after overcooking a corner, then you're just going to spin out with the lower brake bias. Okay. So we're going to go for lap 2 probably here. Usually it's that way at short tracks. Track temp I think was in the mid-high 80s. So if you're running slower or faster, make sure to take into account track temp. So we're gonna get a run up like this. I'm just gonna try to do lap one, turn 1 and 2 like normal, see if it sticks. So we brake early, aim for this first seam, and then try to get it to roll on top like this. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. You know what, let's go for it. 3 and 4, down the bottom. Try to get on the yellow. A little bit longer down the yellow than I want to be a little down there a little bit longer. That's a decent lap. I'll pretend that the second lap doesn't exist, and we're gonna go for the quote-unquote third lap, just because I want to get the run up here. You know, on short tracks we cheat. It shouldn't make too much of a difference at all, though. All right, arc into the seam. Try to get it to roll here. Nice, good run. Brake to the bottom, try to get to stick a little bit longer. It's a little bit tougher, the car likes to slide down there. So you know what, we might just stick with that first lap there. Because we did all the right things in the first lap. I think the grip level was just a little bit low. Yeah, 85-degree track temp. So if the track temp's lower, it's probably like 3 degrees to get you a 10th or so. That sounds about right. Okay. So in our lap here, we tried to set up wide, but you don't want to be up here for too long because the car loves to snap on exit. So you see how much wheel, I'm just trying to get this straight line here. So I'm essentially just trying to extend the straightaway so that I can go, you see how I just go instantly to full throttle? No real hesitation except for a little bit, but I really want to be full throttle as long as possible because that's what's going to get us our run. And this short track is just long enough to where this run matters a little bit, like half a tenth. Okay, so maybe the bottom is fastest, but I was trying the bottom for a while and I just could not get over some of the bumps down there. Car just never wanted to stay rotated on me. So I moved my lineup to the second groove here. Now that I look at it, the wear in the track seems to indicate that the second groove is better than the first, but you can't ever fully trust that. So what I'm trying to do here is I don't really need to use a ton of brake, but for lap time's sake, I dive it a little bit deep. So braking about right here. Don't really want to go over that 40 mark, especially if my wheel is turned at all, but it's not too turned yet. But by the time I crank the wheel, I really want that brake to be in that 25% range. And then as I land into the corner, I want it to drag at that 20%. Whole goal is to get the weight shift. So I want the balance to go from on the right front to the right rear. So having the car feel tight at a moment, it's not going to snap loose, but it's going to go over that hill where the car now wants to come down the track instead of come up the track. That's when you transition immediately to about half throttle. And if you try to force that full throttle too early, you're going to spin out. So what I recommend is you just start at that half to 60% throttle and roll that until you see that you can have this kind of a straight line at the exit of the corner. This kind of yellow thing right here kind of signifies the end of the corner for me. So once I see the end of the corner, I'm like, okay, I can probably just get my wheel straight and go full throttle. And that's exactly what I do here. Sometimes if you have a little bit better angle, you can go full throttle a little early. So you can see here that I might have even gotten down to the seam a little too early. See the car slide up just a tiny bit. You don't want the car to diamond. So if you might get a little bit more speed than me here, if you delay getting to the bottom just that tiniest bit. But that doesn't mean don't turn down as early as I am right now, because if you're not turning down early enough, you're going to have the right rear kind of overstep its bounds on grip, and you're going to be sliding under the brake. So that's why I'm taking it shallow, so that I can put the amount of brake that I want into it. A little bit loose, but not too bad. 3 and 4, we're going to go to the bottom now, because it kind of just handles a lot better down here. than in 1 and 2. Really just trying to get right on the line. Trying to stay on the yellow as long as possible. I probably want to be all the way on the bottom to like right here, but you see I'm already sliding up. So again, probably half a tenth. And how I stay down there at the bottom a little longer is I just stay on that brake just a little bit longer than I did. Maybe like literally a quarter of a second would have made the difference. But the turns aren't completely uniform in curve. You can see that like right here, it kind of tightens a little bit, the yellow line at least. So I feel like you want to trail brake through that kink there and then immediately pick up the gas afterwards, because you get a little bit more time if you're able to just straighten out the wheel and come up the hill right here, as opposed to I'm sliding up a little bit too early. I was able to force full throttle almost at the same time, but that was kind of risky. Like, it really comes around on you there. So you just got to be ready for it. But same like principles of getting into the corner, right? Smooth off the, well, I wasn't that smooth off the throttle, but really you should be smooth off the throttle. And then 40% brake while the wheel's straight, turn the wheel, 20 to 10% brake, hold that 10 to 15% brake until the car weight shifts. I kind of missed the weight shift, but it wasn't too bad. The car was mostly neutral, but you kind of do want the car to be turned back down towards the yellow. And then once you do that, you can be aggressive on the throttle, drive it straight up the banking, and bring it back to the start-finish line. Okay, let's do some laps here. Short tracks at ARCA. The strategy is the same for pretty much every short track in ARCA, and it's keep your tires under you. So it's going to be very easy to push your car too much, get a little bit loose, and really heat up that right rear, and we do not want that at all. We want to run lines that just keep the car under us the whole way, and we don't want to force full throttle until very late. So one big difference that you'll see me do in both of in between long run and short run is I'm just going to hold this partial throttle even longer, maybe lose a little bit of time off the front end or on the back end, sorry, but I'm just trying to make sure that my tires are never sliding. Some of the best short tracker guys, they'll be able to pick up that throttle at like the perfect timing every time, but I'm not that amazing at short tracks, so I just sort of wait for the car to come to me instead of really force the issue. Ends up losing me maybe half a tenth per lap against like the best short trackers, but that's just somewhere where I'm not at yet in terms of skill level, and I assume if you're watching this, you're probably not there either. You see what happened there? I overdrove the corner and it became very sketchy. But this second line to me feels just a lot better than the very bottom. It must be just because of the smoothness of the track. Don't worry too much about how much you're turning the wheel. As long as you're keeping your tires under you, the tires should wear fairly evenly. We're not going too fast. We can see that I'm staying within a couple tenths of my best lap time just by rolling the throttle until the wheel is completely straight on the straightaways. And you see how it kind of comes back to us. Just patience, right? No one's really going to pass me if I'm running these lines. Like, where are they going to go? And again, if you have that low brake bias, let me show you what happens if you overdrive a corner. Ooh. Well, first off, I spun my tire, which is good. Let's say I overdrive the corner just by a little bit. Oh, jeez. Oh. You see, like, how sketchy that is with the low brake bias? I have to, like, really overdrive the corner and then try to keep the wheel as straight as I can while I'm braking and let the car wash up. The track must be cooling down because it's feeling faster, but that's beside the point. You might have conditions kind of like this, but it should be fairly close to what I ran it at, depending on the time of day you're running. But yeah, so really, I mean, I don't have any other tips for you guys for long run. Well, I guess I do. If you're side by side with somebody, same idea, right? Let's say you got someone inside. You have to go up here. Yeah, look at how much time you lose up here, but you don't want to like hurt what you do. You don't want to hurt your tires battling. So this is a really single groove track. I mean, I guess you can do dive bombs on the bottom. Like, let me try a dive bomb in turn 3 here, theoretically. Yeah, slide up. I mean, you can do that, but they can just kind of cut back under you, but maybe not. Yeah, the dive bomb could work. Yeah. Okay, that wasn't really a dive bomb. I'm just messing around now. I don't want to waste your guys' time. Yeah, so you see they wear evenly. As long as you're rolling those corners and not sliding your tires off of them, then you're going to wear them evenly. So don't even worry about tires, worry about heat. Well, I guess that's still tires, but you get what I'm saying. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all on the track.